Have you ever noticed how sometimes we pray for one life while practicing another? Think about that for a second. Sometimes we ask God for one destination while our daily habits are taking us somewhere completely different. This isn't just about dating, it's about congruence. As a counselor and coach, one of the things I'm always listening for isn't perfection, it's contradiction. Not because contradictions make someone a bad person. Contradictions simply reveal where growth still needs to happen. I recently watched a public interview where a woman described the kind of relationship she wanted. She wanted a loving relationship, a kind man, a supportive man, someone who wanted commitment and a meaningful future. Then she was asked when her last relationship was. She said it had been years. But then she added that she currently had a friend. As the conversation continued, it became clear she was in an ongoing physical relationship without commitment. There's all sorts of names for that, right? The interviewer gently asked her something that really caught my attention. What if you're not meeting the right man? The interviewer asked, because all of your time, energy, and emotional space is already occupied by someone who isn't building a future with you. Yeah, that question stopped me. Sure. I was like, yeah, good question. Not because I wanted to judge the young lady, because it made me think about everybody, right? All of us who've ever dated. It's not actually about physical intimacy. It's about congruence. The contradiction isn't I'm having physical intimacy for this woman. The contradiction is I'm asking life to reward a pattern that is moving me away from the destination I say I want. That applies to every area of life. If I tell you I want financial freedom while spending every dollar I make, the issue isn't money, it's congruence. If I tell you I want better health while refusing every healthy habit, the issue isn't food, it's congruence. Dating is no different. Now, before anyone misunderstands me, this isn't about criticizing this woman, ever. I don't know her story. I don't know whether this is a dependency, a habit, loneliness, a fear of letting go, or simply a pattern she's repeated for years for whatever reason. Only she knows that. What I do know is that many of us have lived some version of this. We say we want peace while entertaining chaos. We say we want commitment while investing in people who have already told us they don't want it. We say we want healing while continuing the very habits that keep reopening the wound. Sometimes we're asking God to write a new chapter while refusing to stop rereading the last one. One of my favorite sayings is this: your habits vote every day for the future you're going to live. Your words only vote once. The interviewer asked her something else. What if you simply stepped away from dating and physical relationships for a season? What if you focused on becoming the woman you're praying to become? What if you invested that time into your faith, your healing, your purpose, your friendships, your values, and your own life? Maybe then the kind of man you're looking for would finally have room to enter your life. Her response was honest. She said she couldn't imagine living without the physical part of the relationship. Again, I'm not assigning a label to that. I'm simply paying attention to the pattern. She's not the only one. Sometimes the area we resist surrendering the most is the very area shaping our future. Here's something I've learned after years of counseling people, especially couples I've worked with. Many people confuse relief with alignment. A casual relationship can relieve loneliness. It can relieve boredom. It can relieve physical desire. It can relieve anxiety for a little while. But relief and alignment are not the same thing. Comfort isn't always confirmation. Sometimes the person you're calling comfort is occupying the very seat that growth requires. And for my Christian audience, I want to say this with as much grace as possible. When the religious leaders brought a woman caught in adultery before Jesus, they were ready to condemn her. Jesus didn't. He challenged everyone holding stones to examine themselves first. One by one, they walked away. Then Jesus looked at her and said, "Neither do I condemn you." Notice what came next. He said, "Go, and from now on, sin no more." Grace comes first. Transformation followed. That has always been the gospel. Not condemnation, not permission, transformation. That's why this isn't about pointing at someone else's life. This is about holding up a mirror to our own. Ask yourself honestly, is there anything in my dating life that's contradicting what I say I want? Am I giving commitment level access to someone who has never offered commitment? Am I investing years into a relationship that has no destination? Am I asking God for something while refusing to release what is standing in the way? The greatest obstacle to your future relationship may not be the people you're failing to meet. It may be the person you're refusing to release. Yeah? Breathe that one out. Breathe. If you want different, eventually you have to do differently. Simple, right? Because transformation doesn't begin when you meet the right person. Transformation begins when you become honest with yourself. That's just heart logic. Obviously, I've said this before. I'm married, okay? I've said this before. But when I was single, the most important relationship I had was with God first. Surrendering everything, school, career, friendship, wherever I wanted to live, traveling, my life was in His hands. And that includes dating, okay? I sought my Father first. I created a formula that worked for me and has worked for a lot of young ladies and men. But I had to get honest with myself first. I had to be transparent. And I had to work it all the way through. And that includes forgiveness of people. Because you can blame someone, which a lot of folks do. You're not alone. You can blame someone and said, he did this to me. That person did that to me. She had no right to do that. I will never forget what that person did. No, of course you're not going to forget what they did. You have a memory. You have a brain. It has a memory in it. But you have to release some of that stuff. Some of you are holding on to stuff that keeps you so stuck and you don't realize it. But everybody has their own pace in their healing journey. Okay? It's not about rushing people's pain points, trauma, bad experiences, however you would like to define it. It's not about rushing that, because some people really do have to work through some deep-seated trauma that began way before they got into relationships, that started in their infancy, in their childhood home, with whoever and whatever environment they were connected to, that they were reared in. Okay? So we know that there's some deep, deep stuff. But when you have a chance and you're ready, you got to stop repeating the same stories and repeating the same patterns and then saying nothing is working out for me. Have you done all the work? Just ask yourself the next time you say, the next time you speak about what someone has done, yes, you acknowledge it, but say to yourself, is this keeping me stuck? Why am I here again? Do I sound like, I feel like I've been saying this since I was 18 years old, 25 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60, 65. I've seen it. Are you tired of hearing yourself say it? Whatever you keep telling yourself, all the resources, all the literature, all the research, coaches, therapists, maybe even close friends or elders in your family, they're out there. Books upon millions of books of people that have been through stuff. Therapists writing books. You have so much information at your fingertips. So if you're tired of still telling the same story, I can't meet that guy. I can't seem to meet the right guy. It's not working out for me. What do people say? The pool is filled with urine. But what is happening to all the other people who are finding their mate? How are they finding their mate? How are they living out years and decades of healthy relationships? Because they're out there. They just don't have the biggest mouths on social media. The ones that are struggling, those are the ones that have the biggest mouths and telling you about it. But the ones that are really thriving, they're just actually out there thriving. Because also they know, for the ones that are on social media, talking about how wonderful their relationship and marriages are, they get pounced on. It's not good enough for them to be happy, healthy, and well, for things to work out. They get attacked. Okay? But they're out there. Okay? Somehow they missed the urine pool. You ever think about that? They missed it. They went to a different watering pool. I wonder what that's about. I wonder what kind of strategy they've been using. They've been using a strategy. Gotta go. Ciao.